Welcome to this Shortwave radio channel, and this is a Shortwave for beginners. Once again, we'll try to explain in the most basic way the different concepts of shortwave radio. I'll talk about in the next few videos the different modes of transmissions used that are the most popular in shortwave radio. So the first one we'll talk about is AM mode. You'll see this on a lot of radios, and it actually creates a lot of confusion for a lot of people because we tend, especially here in North America, to call AM radio the band that we actually listen to, radio stations, local stations, AM radio. So when people see AM, they immediately think, oh, this is for listening to local stations. Well, actually, we are explaining it wrong or not using the correct terms. In reality, we should say we're listening to medium wave because AM is actually a mode of transmission. So that is why a lot of people get a little mixed up because they see AM and they don't understand what AM has to do with shortwave. And that's because shortwave does use AM mode. And AM stands for amplitude modulation. AM mode is used on the international broadcast bands for probably 90% of whatever is in AM on shortwave. So when you're listening to Radio Romania or listening to Radio France or listening to the Voice of America or listening to music on WTWW, you're actually using AM mode. That's the mode preferred by most shortwave broadcasters. Why? Because it's the mode that requires the least amount of electronics to actually work. So AM mode radios and AM mode only radios, there's a lot of them out there. Basically, they are cheaper to produce because they don't require a lot of parts. So that's one of the advantages of AM mode. The other AM that you'll hear on the shortwave bands in general, because I just said 90% is in the international broadcast bands. So your favorite radio stations on shortwave will all use AM pretty much. The 10% that's left is amateur radio. Yes, there are some amateur radio operators that actually use AM mode and like that. One of the examples here at night is I often hear AMers on 3875, 3880, 3885. Some amateur operators actually like that. But AM is possible on pretty much all amateur bands. There's a little space on almost every band for AM mode. And that's one part. And the other part is you'll sometimes hear some pirate stations on AM mode and some time signal utilities like WWV or CHU. A lot of them are also using AM mode. That's the last 10% in general. So there's a little bit of pirates on AM mode. There's a little bit of time signal stations utilities that are AM mode. But like I said, 90% are international broadcasters. And why isn't AM everywhere? Why doesn't more amateur radio operators use AM and so on? Well, because AM requires a lot more power and there's a lot of more energy that's wasted in AM mode. So there are more efficient modes out there. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next section, where we're going to talk about single sideband transmissions and why it is used on shortwave. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.